Classical music is dying. Hi everyone, I'm Thomas, and this is Nicole, and we're the co-founders of Anon. And just for the record, we have no idea who put that up there, because we don't believe a word of it. However though, there is some truth to this. All you need to do is go to a classical music concert one night, any night, and look at the number of people in the audience who are over 60. From our experience, we are usually the youngest by about 40 years. So what this tells us is that our audience members are getting older and it's getting smaller in size. This is not the prettiest picture for the future of classical music, but we believe that there is always two sides to the same coin. So before we tell you what we think, we would like to ask you, how many of you here actively enjoy classical music? Good.
Wow, that's a good number of hands.
And I'm glad you put your hands up too. Do you remember the last time you went to a classical music concert? But most importantly, how many of you here secretly love classical music but aren't saying so because you don't want to be seen as old or nerdy? Simply put, classical music suffers from an image problem. It often comes across as old, rigid, and unapproachable. And we think this is because we're not seeing the bigger picture yet. So we ask ourselves, why? Well, there are plenty of reasons, and musicians across the world are tackling it in their own ways. But for us, it comes down to two things: quality exposure and relevance.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how can anyone appreciate anything if they haven't had the opportunity to experience its potential? Too often we find that people's perceptions of classical music are limited to the big typical names of Beethoven and of Mozart, for example. Sometimes it could be clouded by something they experienced when they were little, that then close all future possibilities to classical music. So again, how can anyone appreciate anything if they haven't had the opportunity to experience its potential? And the idea of relevance is a huge one. I bet every single one of you here can think about the one time you were dozing off when you really should have been listening. It could have been anywhere, in your lectures, at your wedding day, maybe at the back row right now, and unsurprisingly, at a classical music concert. The point is, for something to be relevant to you, it has to connect. It has to surprise. It has to provoke. So what can we do about it? Well, we think that we can reach out to a wider audience and a new audience through the power of the live concert experience. It's a given that we need a good idea and a strong message, but beyond that, an experience is a two-way street. And what we hope to offer you is the discovery of something new, even if it's just for that split second. So today we'll be sharing with you a film and music collaboration by Anon called Trailer Music. Trailer in this case refers to movie trailers, not the car trailers that you see up there. This is based on a piece called Trailer Music for piano, violin, and cello by an Australian composer called Nicholas Buck. It is so clever and so cinematic that when Tom and I heard it for the very first time, we instantly thought, hey, we need to create a film for this. For us, it just really highlighted how powerful music was in driving storytelling and imagination.
So we've invited 6 young filmmakers from Australia to create short films based on this piece of music. The core idea is to explore how they went about interpreting it, and to show that there is just no one correct way or one perfect way of understanding music. For the full effect, will now be performing the piece on its own. So listen, let your imaginations run wild, and create a story for yourself.
Is it an action film? Is it a comedy? It's all up to you, and it really could be anything.
We'll now be joined by our cellist, Tim Hennessy, on stage to perform this for you. And only then, you tell us that classical music is old, rigid, and unapproachable. Thank you. This is trailer music.
Thank you.